Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to the big show where we talk about cruise ship news and travel news and all kinds of stuff. Little this, little that. Answer your questions, compare notes. What's going on out there? How are you folks doing? Welcome to the channel. Hope you're all well wherever you are. Hopefully the viruses aren't getting you. Hopefully you got your shots, or you are taking good care of yourselves. Or if you have been ill, you've gotten over it and you're through it. You're coming on the other side. Jen and I, we got our shots last couple weeks ago. Number 4, all done. Good old Costco, got it done there at the pharmacy. No charge having it done there, so that was great through the Alberta government here in good old Canada. So we're happy about that, and we're hanging in there. The side effects that I had, I was a little tired the next day and the day after, just a little tired. But slept like a log for 2 nights, so I wasn't complaining. I need good sleep. After that, I've just been normal, just absolutely normal, not an issue whatsoever. So we're happy about that. Here in Calgary, where we are cooling off a little bit here. We had 70-degree weather 2 weeks ago. This Saturday, Sunday, we were at 55, 56 degrees. Right now, we're at 36. Tomorrow, 34. By Monday, Tuesday of next week, our high temperature, Fahrenheit, 6 degrees for the high, -2 for the low. Yes, snow is coming down starting tomorrow, off and on the next week or so, and this likely is going to accumulate. This snow does not melt very quickly because the temperatures are too low in the evening, far too low, below freezing. And in the daytime, if we have cloudy weather and it's 25 degrees out, we're not going to get meltage here. The angle of the sun is rapidly depleting on us because tomorrow's November 1. Our lowest point of sun will be around just around Christmas time. So 6-7 weeks, we're at the lowest level. And for 6-7 weeks after that, we're still at the lowest level. So we've got, unfortunately, 3-4 months of really short days, low sunshine angle. But here's the good news. Jen and I are getting on an airplane at the end of the month. We're heading south to California. And for us anyway, we're going to avoid that winter temperature weather like we did last year. The plan is to avoid it and hopefully enjoy 60s, 70s through most of the January, February range, and then by February, March, April, 80s, back to 80s and 90s. Quite happy about that. Very much looking forward to it. Thank you all for joining me from wherever you are around the world. Those of you who are regulars, I love the fact that you folks give us a thumbs ups on our show. Let us know what number we are already on our thumbs up. By all means, hit the thumbs up and tell us what number you are. If you're watching on the rerun, you guys are the home run kings there, because every Monday night here on the live show, we try to get as many thumbs ups going as we can. We love to hit 100, but it's the rerun watchers that get us to 100. And thank you again, all of you from last week and the week before, coming through for us and hitting the thumbs up button and bringing the show over 100 thumbs ups, which helps YouTube to promote us. That's really what it's all about. Let the world know there's a guy out there talking cruise ships and travel and an okay place to hang out. Thank you all for being here. Stephen Butler is in the house. 72 degrees, sunshine where I am. Gas $3.42 a gallon in Northwest Arkansas. Number 1 or number 2 on the like button, Bruce. I'm right up there. The wife is flying to Houston for 5 days. I will water the plants, feed the birds, our cat and me this week. Right on, sir. Janice Gregory, how you doing? Hi, Bruce and Jennifer. Number 2 gas is $3.18 here. 108 days until the edge. We're going on a cruise. 78 Fahrenheit in Ormond Beach, Florida. That sounds gorgeous. Sharon, hi, Bruce and TWB family. Swimming isn't the issue. The inside locations are the issue. Oh, yeah, we were talking here. Sharon was on my other show, the sponsor member hangout show, and she started to make some comments to me over there, but she forgot she was over here. I wasn't reacting to her commentary, and she realized, oh, how can he react to me? I'm not even on the right show. And so she came over to the other show, reposted these comments, and mentioned, I may have put some comments on the other side, just so you know. Oops, these are meant for the other show. Sorry. Ken, hello, happy Halloween, Bruce, and all. The temperature in Saginaw, Michigan is 57 degrees with clouds. Gasoline is $4.02 a gallon over here, and we were number 6 on that thumbs up meter of yours. Thank you, Janet and Ken, as always. Much appreciated. Shady Hill Homestead. Hey, Bruce, number 7, Southern Indiana. 61 degrees Fahrenheit where we are here. Gas is $3.69 a gallon. There's nothing wrong with these prices. Jeannie, hello again, Bruce. Hi to all TWBers. Bill and Jeannie are here for the big show from East Tennessee. Welcome to you two, as always. Kirk Brunson, the man himself. I'm here, buddy. I'm here from the Big Apple. How you doing, Kirk? Nice to see you, pal. Sharon, our highlight of the weekend was seeing Weird Al Yankovic's concert at Carnegie Hall. It was amazing. Right on. That's good. I've heard he puts on a good show. Kirk Brunson, YouTube and Facebook channel, number 10 thumbs ups for you. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Nautical Nurse Nancy, hello. Happy Halloween. TWB, hoping everyone is doing well tonight. Nautical Nurse, how are you? Nice to have you join us tonight. Sharon, it's raining in central New Jersey, meaning that we bought way too much Halloween candy. Luckily, chocolate freezes well. You know, the thing about Halloween candy that I find is that, do you remember about, oh gosh, well, when you were kids, if you're anything like me, I remember my mom would buy Halloween candy. But the kind of candy that my mom would buy would not be the kind of candy I would want to eat. She would have bought like these, you remember the suckers that used to get that were on a white stick? And then you had the yellow, green, red colored suckers. And they would be in a cellophane kind of wrapper that you would sort of swiggle back and forth until you broke the seal. I mean, one a year, man, like one a year. And it had to be red for me. By the way, what's your favorite lollipop color? But the other candies my mom bought were these cheap little. You remember these candies that looked like mini donuts? They were little round things. They were tiny. They were as tiny as my fingernail thumb here. Really tiny, round, kind of a sugary candy thing. And they would come like on a little string, on like a bracelet that hold 20 of them, maybe 15 of them. Like they're really tiny. They were super cheap. And what else kind of candy did she bring in? It was like cheap. I would call it cheap Chinese candy is what I would call it. Really generic, sugary, yucky stuff. This is what my mom was handing out to the neighborhood. Now, when I went out trick-or-treating as a kid, while my mom was handing out this crap, we were looking for the houses that were handing out chocolate bars. This is the one night of the year I found in my house as a kid growing up in my parents' house, that if we could find homes with this stuff, we could eat all we could get. If they were handing out Mars bars, oh man, I mean, I was hoping that I'd have enough Mars bars for a week, you know. But you occasionally, I don't even know, back in the 60s when I went trick-or-treating, because I stopped trick-or-treating by the time it was around 1969, 68. That was about it for me. 13, that was it. I don't think they had miniature O. Henry bars and miniature Aero bars. But what I notice now, just reading this comment here from Sharon, what I notice now is that you go to the grocery store today and you see all those displays for Halloween candy for the last month now. Have you noticed that the candies that you can buy now that you can give out to kids in, bunches of 50s or 40s or 30s, 40s, 50s, 70s, 100 pieces per box, would be the favorite chocolate bars from your youth? Do you remember, that? Have you noticed that? You can hand out the Mars bars or the Three Musketeer miniatures, or the Aero bars. I don't know what in Canada. I'm rattling off Canadian brands. I'm sure down in the US you have your favorite US chocolate bar. Do you want to share some of the favorite stuff you got at Halloween when you were a kid? I mean, I remember a lot of that really junky candy that you didn't want. I do remember getting, though, little tiny candies. Oh, they looked like lifesavers. They're lifesavers. I'm thinking they look like a lifesaver. They were lifesavers. Do you remember getting fruit flavored lifesaver mini rolls of like 6 or 8 candies per roll? Remember those? I remember getting those. And I thought those are pretty good, because they last forever. They don't get stale. I'm just trying to think about what we got back then. Valerie, hello, Bruce. Long time no see. How are you doing, Valerie? Louise, hi, Bruce. I missed our sponsor chat. Happy Halloween. Thank you, Louise. Jeannie, 3 weeks ago tomorrow, we got senior flu shot and Pfizer third booster at the same time, one on each arm. I slept for 10 hours. You see, that's what I'm saying. We finally got a good night's sleep. Nautical Nurse Nancy, I hear you. Definitely nice to escape the cold white stuff. Definitely. Donnell, the man, is in the house. G'day, Bruce and all. I'm number 17. We missed you on the sponsor member show. Thank you, my friend, for popping in here. Louise, things are not the best for me. Jerry used my credit card without permission and racked up a substantial bill. He's gone and not talking to me. This is not good. Jerry, you should be ashamed of yourself. That is not what we want to be hearing. Alan, Bruce is the man. Louise, the Halloweeners are all gone, I think. I think we're done here. Sean and Wendy, God is amazing. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Nice to see you here. Louise, when my credit card problem is resolved, I will be back. You get that guy. Shut that card down and get another number and get card charges reversed if you can. Do what you got to do. Cloud 7. Hi, Bruce. Happy Halloween. Glad I'm able to watch this live show. It's been a while. Right on. Nice to have you here. Kate PM. Hi, everybody from Naples, Florida. Gas was $3.18 today. And a steamy hot Halloween for trick-or-treaters. Oh, you guys with your hot Halloweens. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're cold. We're in mid-30s tonight. Sharon, when I was a kid, I loved the houses that gave out full-size candy bars. Yeah, now I'm one of those houses. Yeah, those full-sizers. Louise, I get chocolate bars for my home. I give chocolate Halloweeners, chocolate bars for Halloweeners. Nautical Nurse, favorite lolly has to be that Blow Pop cherry red flavor, but it's a long time since I've had one of those. You remember those? What was it? Tootsie Rolls. Okay, now Tootsie Rolls would come in a long round circular thing, and you'd peel the top, and you'd get one at a time. And then for Halloween, they made Tootsie Rolls toffee, like the toffee Tootsie Rolls, and they had the light brown colored chocolate. I'm looking for light brown something. Light brown colored chocolate Tootsie Rolls. But at Halloween, you could also buy the singles that were wrapped and they were black on the outside. So they were a dark chocolate sort of a Tootsie Roll. Those I liked. Those for Halloween, I really liked those. Nautical Nurse, I agree, Sharon. Those full-size chocolate candy bars are the places you go out of your way to. And of course, if you've got a buddy, you got a friend, and you're passing each other along the road, you share which house you want to go to. Oh, you want to go there. You do want to go. Don't go over there. Oh, they're handing out those really ugly, Yeah, we would share notes. Share Nautical Nurse Nancy, I love you. Karen Chapman, hi from Drippy, Central New Jersey. Price of gas down to $3.50 a gallon. Sad that this seems low. I'll take a $100,000 bar any day. Thumbs up, number 26. Right on. I remember buying miniature. These are true confessions with Uncle Bruce. I remember buying boxes of candy like 10 years ago. This is when this phase started, from what I can recall in my fuzzy memory now. About 10 years ago, you could start buying these boxes of 50 or 100 miniature chocolate bars. And here in Canada, we would buy the Mars. They would have like 25 Mars bars, 25 O. Henry bars, 25 Kit Kats, and maybe 25 something else. I don't know what. And what I would do is I would pour all the candies into the bowl to get ready to hand them out. And I would take out the O. Henry bars and put them back in the box for myself. I'd only give away the chocolate bars that I didn't like as much. I would keep the O. Henrys for myself. I mean, hey, it's Halloween, Halloween for Dad too, don't you think? Stephen Butler's caramel candy covered apples. Do you remember that? People would have those. They would have the candy apples in that red color thing, and they would hand wrap them in wax paper, and you'd put that in like your bag and stuff. I'd never eat those. I would never eat those. Sharon, we're giving our Kit Kats, giving out Kit Kats this year, ordered directly from Hershey's. Sharon, 26 thumbs up, 74 to go. Right on. Keep those thumbs ups coming, everybody. Thank you so much for these thumbs ups tonight. Robert, hello, Bruce from Boston. Gas is still high at $3.79, and Starbucks breakfast sandwich is now $8. Going to Miami in March for an NCL cruise. Isn't that incredible how expensive things have gotten at our favorite places? I bought a Starbucks venti latte, soy latte with no foam. That's how I like mine. Only at Starbucks do I order this. Everywhere I have a latte, I just get a regular latte. But at Starbucks, I have a venti with soy milk. $6.40. $6.40. Unbelievable. I didn't order anything to eat. Donnell, I couldn't find the link for the sponsor member show. I did try, though. Our clocks went back 1 hour last night. I'll catch the rerun tomorrow. Heavy rain all day here. Donnell, thank you for being here. My fault, though. I was late getting those out. Louise, this year I had mini Smarties, Aero, Coffee Crisp, Reese's Cups, O. Henry, and more. As a matter of fact, speaking of candy, Jen put this little thing over here. You can see what I got here. Let's take a look at this. We got Reese's Pieces right here. Okay, there you go. Here we go. Jolly Rancher. All right, this is a green apple. Are you kidding me? Yuck. I mean, come on. Now, this is a Reese's peanut butter cup. See? Little peanut butter cup, just a single one. There you go. And then what do we got here? What's this one? What is? Look at. Have you ever had one of these Whoppers malted milk candy? I don't know. What else we got here? Let's see. Are there any others? There's more of the same. Okay, then we got the Smarties. We got the mini Smarties. Those are like M&Ms in the U.S. We call them Smarties up here. The proper name. And that's it. That's all the candy in this little jar that Jen put together. But we do have Aero bars, and but we don't have miniature O. Henrys. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what Jen was thinking. I don't understand. It used to be so easy, but it's all changed now. It's just not that easy anymore. Anyway, there's our little display of candy. Not that you can see it from the camera where you're at, but isn't that something? Oh my gosh. Kim, did you solve your mail problems yet? No, still working on that. Now that it's Monday, but I can't do it on Mondays because I have 5 live shows I do on Mondays. It's a tomorrow problem, so I'm working on it. Robert Blend, Bruce, I am number 23 on the thumbs up meter. Michelle Lucas, hi from BARV, BARV, hi from the big ass RV in Arizona. That's right. Now, I'm assuming the two of you are still living full time in your big ass RV, which, if I recall, was a huge 5th wheel with a garage in the back for the Harley. I'm assuming that is still the case. Now, how long has this been? Has this been 3 years since those fires in Paradise, California, or has it been 4? How long has this been? You must be loving life on the road as nomads, and I commend you. I absolutely do. Cloud 7 kids are starting to ring my doorbell. You got any over at your place yet, Bruce? Not yet. It's not dark yet. The sun sets in the next 15 minutes, and it'll get dark in about 30. And then here they come. Yeah, Jen. I just heard the doorbell. Jen is handling the doorbell. I just heard the doorbell. That might be our first one And we'll see if Jen is working her way over here. There she goes. There she goes. The first batch. Stephen, the $100,000 bars are now $1 million bars due to inflation. See, there you go. And that makes sense. Nathan, say I'm number 8, but again, it's wrong. I don't know why it lies to me. I'm cooking while listening from the kitchen. Gas at Sam's was $3.26 a gallon. It's light rain. It's upper 60s today in the Asheville area. Right on. Louise, I had 200 bars this year. I also took out most of the O. Henry bars. There were so few in the box. Ms. M. Hey, hi, Bruce. Happy Halloween. I gave you a thumbs up, but I don't know what number it is. It doesn't matter. Thank you, Miss M, so much. Larry Brake, I figured out number 34. Thank you all. Sharon, my thought is to give out one item so kids aren't caught up on which one to choose, you see. Louise, we enjoyed Whoppers as a kid. They were not the best, but cheap and fun. And Michelle, 4 years, Bruce. We've been in the rig for 4 years. Isn't that awesome? That is really something. I commend you. I really do. That is awesome stuff. Ms. M, gas is $1.85 a liter. That is not cheap gas. Jeannie, Bill bought a 365-piece bag of our favorites. M&M's, Twix, Three Musketeers, Milky Ways, Snickers, just in case. Have not had any trick-or-treaters in 15 years. We live on a cul-de-sac. Yum! You know, you went through the motions. You did everything you had to do. No one can accuse you of not being prepared for Halloween. If the kids don't want to show up, well, that's just too darn bad. Don't you think? That's right. Kirk, my wife said my son made out like a bandit with candy. I lost 10 pounds and losing weight for my cruise, and now here comes Halloween. Poor me. Oh, man, Cloud 7. I am in Northwest Calgary, so maybe the kids are more keen at trick-or-treating. Well, Jen is at the door, and she's handing out candy, so they're out there. We're in a little funny little area here. We're on a little cul-de-sac. Well, we're in like a crescent kind of a thing, and there's probably about 50 houses around here. And we're sort of cut off from the rest of the communities because we have this little roadway. But I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of kids. I'm certain about that. Let's see. And my site is so popular. How popular is my site? I even have a troll coming in tonight with offensive comments. You got to love that. I mean, that's a sign of how this channel is growing. That's amazing. Thank you for the thumbs ups, everybody. Nathan, troll alert, troll. Sharon, we're in the center of a circle, and the neighborhood turned over in recent years with lots of new little babies, new kids. So I buy a lot of candy because here we go. The new kitties have come out and are showing up. I remember back again, this is 66, 67, 68, 69, maybe. Oh, gosh. I remember there was one house in our neighborhood one year where it was around 8 o'clock at night. They ran out of candy, and they were handing out money. I remember going to this house and we'd say trick or treat, and they said, "Oh, we've run out of candy, but we have money." And what? And they were giving out quarters. Now, a 25-cent piece in 1968, you could buy yourself a full-size O. Henry chocolate bar, no problem with that, for a quarter. You certainly could buy a burger at McDonald's, no problem. You could get a big fry at McDonald's. You could probably buy an apple, what are those called? Apple turnovers at the McDonald's. They even had cherry turnovers at one time. Certainly, you could have bought a small ice cream cone at Dairy Queen for a quarter back in 68. So a quarter was serious stuff. That was, that's like getting $2 today. Although I don't think you can buy an ice cream cone for $2 these days at Dairy Queen. I don't even think a $2 ice cream cone exists at Dairy Queen anymore. Nathan, no trick-or-treaters where I live. I didn't even decorate for Halloween anymore. So far out in the country for that. It's okay. Saves me money for a cruise. What some guys will go through to not hand candy out to kids. But Nathan, you do what you got to do. That's funny. We were last year. We were in California, and we were in a condo, and we didn't have any children coming for trick or treat because it was a closed in condo. I don't think there were any kids. I got to ask Jen about that, but I'm pretty sure we didn't have any children for last Halloween. And the Halloween before that would have been in Creston. It would have been our last year in Creston, and we would get about 40 kids a night, 40 kids every year coming out, a good crowd. So yeah, I remember that. Sharon, I miss McDonald's cherry pies. They were the best. You remember those turnovers? They had the cherry turnovers and they had the apple turnovers. You could get them for a quarter. And I remember as a 16, 17-year-old, I would have a chocolate milkshake and a cherry turnover as a midnight snack after a long night of roller skating on a Friday night. So I could get a good, restful sleep. I think the milkshake was 45 cents or something, and the turnover was a quarter back in good old 1960s or 1972, 71, 72. Get a nice restful sleep on a full tummy of sugar and vim and vinegar. Louise, I hope you enjoy the kids. It's very dark here now. I would be surprised if I got more kids tonight. I have more candy and pop too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, those days, those Halloween times, and the food of yesteryear. My gosh. Yeah, I remember when the first McDonald's came to where I lived in Canada, which was Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario. It would have been 1970, the first time McDonald's showed up. And that was a big deal. And then I remember, I think after that, we'd already had KFC. We had Kentucky Fried Chicken for years. Kentucky Fried Chicken was available in Canada. I recall my mom and dad buying that food from like 1965, like way back. That was way back. Nautical Nurse Nancy, when I worked at Wendy's, they sold this really yummy apple turnover. It was really so good. Not for sale at Wendy's anymore, alas. Yeah, they would make them by deep frying them. Remember that? They would just deep fry them and get the outside all crispied up. They were delicious. They were, oh yeah. Louise, the kids arrived all together with friendly parents in the background. Nikki, hi. Erroneously, it's dark and there are more mosquitoes than kids out, so we gave up and came inside. Well, there you go. Mosquito time. Oh my gosh. I had a friend of mine, a good buddy of mine in school. We were high school buddies. And he had a buddy of his who got a job at a place called the Red Barn. And this is one of these McDonald type knockoff places. So they had fries, burgers, and I'm not even sure if they had anything else, drinks, maybe onion rings. Anyway, we would catch up with him occasionally. Well, it would be like a Tuesday night. And we knew that they closed at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. And this is the days before drive-throughs. This place was in a popular, was on King Street, and there's a lot of traffic. But you had to come in, park, walk in, order, wait for your food to be done, and leave. No drive-throughs yet. Anyway, we knew that he would tell us, yeah, I'm working tonight. Come on around 7:30. Because that's when we get ready to close. We start closing down. And we knew what that meant. It meant free food. So my buddy and I were brought up by parents that didn't starve us, okay? We always had food in our houses. But I always had the traditional German-type European food to eat, which today I crave. But at that time, it was every night. And my buddy had a mom who fed the family. They had a family of 5 kids. So, I mean, it was nuts. So mom was always cooking, but he was always hungry. And both of us were 115 pounds soaking wet, growing an inch a month. Anyway, we would go to this Red Barn restaurant on our 10-speed bikes. And we'd get there about 7:30, 7:45. And we'd walk in. he'd be there with one other worker, but no manager, no owner. It's just him and his buddy shutting it down. And he says, we're going to cook one last batch of fries. And at 10 to 8, we're going to, however many we have, you can buy them for the price of a small fry. He wouldn't do this with the burgers. He wouldn't do this with any of the meat, but with the fries, no problem. So here he is cooking up in the cooker, in the fryer, a bag of French fries, a massive bag of French fries. And the odd customer would come in at 7:45 and at 7:50, but I mean, everyone knew they were shutting down at 8:00. But he'd have, a mess of French fries. And he and his buddy had been snacking all night long. They weren't hungry anymore. And so he'd say, how can we help you tonight? We say, we'd like to order a small fry, please. Oh, no problem, sir. And he would grab the plastic tray that he would put all your food on if you ordered a fry and a burger and a drink and all that. He took a tray and he went to the fry area, and he would just pour on the tray all the French fries that were left over, because otherwise they'd be thrown in the garbage. And like salt on them? Yeah, so put salt on them, and us packages of ketchup. And we'd get this tray of French fries. And so the two of us would sit down at a table, and we would be wolfing down. Gotta be $5 worth of French fries in 1967 or whatever year it was. Oh my God, we're chomping away. These poor young 15-year-old starving children of the modern era. And we would just chomp down this whole thing of French fries. And we would order a small Coke, and he'd give us a large. We'd have a Coke and fries. And then we would ride our 10-speed bikes all over town, burning it off before we went home, because that's when we finally felt tired with all that potato in us. I'll tell you, oh man, it paid to have friends from school working in fast food restaurants. We had a friend, we had one gal we knew worked at a Dairy Queen. That was really handy, especially in those summer months. Our buddy at the Red Barn, we had another pal who worked at a pizza place. Oh, if you ordered a large pizza with all the toppings, you got all the toppings. It was it'd be a 2-inch thick pizza, caked in pepperoni, ham, bacon, mushrooms, onions, and everything else. In the oven. It would take an hour to bake because it was so thick, and all this juice would be coming off of it. Oh my God, it would like $8.99 for the large pizza, the extra large pizza. We'd be in that restaurant trying to eat this monstrosity while people are coming in, picking up their orders, pizza to go. And they'd look at us eating this 2-inch thick pizza, wondering, what pizza is that? I don't see that on the menu. Oh no, it's a special order. You have to know a guy. You got to know a guy. Hey, everybody, that should read, hello, everyone. Thank you, Nikki. Welcome for being here. It's nice to have you. Food in the restaurants. What can I say? All right. Well, thank you for these thumbs up so far, everybody. I've got a little bit of news for you that I'll pass on. We've got 41 thumbs ups, and I thank you very much for that. The news I was going to pass on was a couple of little things that I found out today. Number one was, as you are aware, if you're in North America, you know that it is no longer necessary for cruise lines to report to the CDC how many cases of COVID are on cruise ships anymore. We used to know virtually every ship, their status, how many cases they had and so on. But that's over. That ended in July, I think. That was the end of it. So the only country that I'm aware of now where these reports are easily available comes out of Australia. And I don't know about you guys, but some of you out there have informed me, and you've heard from friends and others, and I've heard from other sources, that people coming off of cruise ships in North America, out of Florida or Los Angeles, the Alaska cruises out of Seattle, a lot of people reported or would say to friends, I got COVID on my cruise. When I got home, I had COVID, or I had the COVID symptoms 3 days after getting back from my cruise. and it turned into full-blown, COVID. Most people got over it. It wasn't such a big deal. Others got sick, but they recovered relatively quickly. Well, apparently in Australia, it is an issue, and found out that on October the 28th, now this is about, 3 days ago, October the 28th, the ship known as the Coral Princess cruise ship had 100 reported cases on board her. We found out today, the 31st, 290 cases of the virus are now confirmed on board the Coral Princess. Now, to give you an idea of what this means, there are maximum 2,000 passengers on a cruise ship, max on this one anyway, and 900 crew. That's 2,900 people. 290 cases is 10% infection rate on board the Coral Princess from Australia. Now, Australian cruisers are just like North American cruisers. We have the same standard of life. We have the same health protocols available to us. It's Western world all the way. The restaurants are all clean and inspected all over the country. No issues there. But I find it fascinating that the Coral Princess is reporting a 10% infection rate on board that ship from the 28th to the 31st in 3 days, 190 more cases. It's going to be interesting to watch the final count on this. Now, apparently, the other story about COVID in Australia happened the 26th of October. So now that's 5 days ago. The Quantum of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean Quantum of the Seas, reports were 400 plus cases of the virus on board the Quantum. 400 plus cases of COVID on that cruise ship. So that also is pushing 10% of the onboard people on board the ship. That just got to make you wonder what the heck is going on. Now, another piece of news that I heard was, it comes out of the U.S. that Port Canaveral, the port that services Orlando, if you want to go on a cruise out of Port Canaveral, you'd fly into Orlando International, maybe get there a week before your cruise and check out Disney World or Universal Studios or play some golf, enjoy. That port, Port Canaveral, they've expanded it in the last few years. They are reporting record numbers. They are very happy with how it's going. They're expecting this year a total number of passengers to exceed 5.8 million passengers. It's the world's second busiest cruise port. The number one is Miami, then Port Canaveral, then Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale, I think, is third. If I got my bearings right, it might be Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and Port Canaveral, but they're the top three, and they're all over 5 million or close to 5 million each. But that wasn't the surprising bit of news that I heard out of there today. I heard something else today that caught my eye. I was reading about the stats on this, how the season is going and how cruise lines are really ramping up. And you have all seen and heard about deals being offered from time to time by cruise lines and so on. Well, here's something I did not know. I had heard about 4 years ago, about a year after I started this channel, I was really getting into the cruise ship news, and it was not uncommon for cruise lines to have 108 to 110% capacity on a typical cruise. So if the ship was designed to hold 2,000 passengers, it would not be surprising to have 2,100 passengers or 2,200 passengers. Not uncommon, because some rooms would double up and so on. Port Canaveral is reporting that it is now quite common, not surprising, to see a number of cruise lines leaving port at 135% occupancy. 135. Now, from what you've heard on the cruise line business and what I've told you and what you hear from others, cruise ships don't have 1,500 passengers anymore. They don't have just 2,000 passengers anymore. The kind of ships coming in and out of Port Canaveral are right up to Oasis class. They're certainly in the Explorer class. So we're talking about cruise ships from Norwegian, Carnival, with the Mardi Gras and these kinds of ships. We're talking 4,000, 5,000, 5,500 passenger cruise ships. Quite common in the 4,000 neighborhood now. Even 3,000 passenger ships are not even a big deal anymore. At one time, the biggest ship in the world, the Queen Mary, the Queen Elizabeth, and the Norway, the SS Norway. These were 2,000 passenger ships, transatlantic. Those were considered monsters. Well, now we're talking 4,000 and 5,000 passengers. If we're talking about 135% capacity of a 4,000 passenger ship, you are talking about another 1,400 people. We're talking 5,400 passengers plus crew. Is it any wonder in Australia why the COVID counts are so high? Does it make you wonder out of the corner of your mind, hey, if I'm on a cruise ship designed for 4,000 people and there are 5,400 on board plus 2,000 crew or 1,800 crew, we're talking 7,200 people on board a cruise ship for a week. What are the odds that you might or might not get the virus? Because after all, you can get on a cruise ship now without proof of vaccine, no testing required, no masking required. It's the Wild West out there. What if you're on an Oasis class ship for Royal Caribbean, 5,500 passenger typical capacity? Add 35% to that. As much as that, we're talking another 1,750 people. That's what used to be a big cruise ship, 1,750 people. We're now talking 7,200 plus 2,300 crew. That's 9,500 people on board a cruise ship. How many carriers are on the ship the first minute of the cruise? And how many carriers are on the ship when you get off for the last time? Is it any wonder we're hearing about more and more reports where people are commenting on chat sites, my channel, Don's channel, Tony's channel, all the channels, about how many people are coming home with the virus from cruise ships? If these guys are going up to, routinely 120 to 130 to 135 capacity, and you can understand why the cruise lines are doing it. You know why. They're desperate for cash. Paying customers, not cruise ship credits. They want paying customers. They're going to go up to 135 easily if they can do it. And they need the money. But man, oh man, are we talking about a sudden surge where nothing is reported? Because you tell me right here, let me ask you this question. If you're a politician and you're in Florida and you're running for the governorship, do you want the cruise lines to report to the world how many people are coming off the cruise ship with the virus? You don't want anyone to know that. If you're the governor of California and you're running for re-election, or if you're running for election in the Senate and or the Congress, do you want Disney World and Universal Studios telling the planet how many thousands of tourists are visiting the place coming out of there with COVID? You don't want any part of it. You don't want to mention the word COVID whatsoever. This is the reality of the COVID reporting these days. No one wants to talk about it because nobody gets reelected by it. If a politician could win votes by exposing how bad COVID is, every politician would want that info, but you don't get elected into anything by doing that. And so it is the big elephant in the room that everyone in the business knows about. Everyone in the cruise ship business knows that cruise lines are now popping up to 135% occupancy levels. And everybody knows that at that kind of level of occupancy, without mask wearing, without social distancing, and without proof of a negative result, guess what's happening? Up go the numbers. They can't not be going higher. You gotta really wonder about what's going on. And these numbers out of Australia are just the tip of the iceberg. The only piece of evidence we're getting is Australia with their counts for their ships. They don't have Oasis class ships plying the seas of Australia right now. So they don't have a ship of 7,000 people, 8,000 people, but they got cases 300 here, 400 here. What is going on? Makes you wonder just what's happening. Anyway, that's some of the news. Now, the rest of the show. I do this once in a while, and I have been getting constantly people saying, you got to do this more often. We love it when you do this. This is really good stuff. What am I talking about? Cruise deals. I found some more cruise deals, and I thought I'd mention a few. But instead of just giving you super cheap bargain deals, I thought I'd mention a couple of nice ones. For those of you who've won a lottery lately or have inherited some money from someone lately, you might want to consider this as a holiday. But let's talk about a deal. How about a 10-day cruise? A deal for a 10-day cruise. November the 22nd until December the 2nd. So yeah, it's coming up at the end of the next month. On the Ruby Princess cruise ship. We're talking about leaving from San Francisco. A 10-day cruise from San Francisco. Get there a couple of days before. Enjoy the area. Go down the up and down those cable cars and enjoy San Francisco. Nothing wrong with that. You would leave San Francisco and then you would have immediately 3 days at sea. So you can just completely kill your regular schedule, forget about the office, forget about everybody else, and just be on a cruise ship for 3 days. You're heading south to the warm weather. Your first stop is Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for the day. I've done it 3 times. Then you stop in Manzanillo for 3 days. Manzanillo, for 1 day. Then Mazatlan for a day. And then Cabo San Lucas for a day. So you got 4 stops in Mexico for 4 straight days. Then you have 2 sea days to come back to San Francisco. There's a lovely Mexican cruise out of Frisco rather than LA or out of San Diego. And it's a 10-day deal. Now, how much is this deal? You want to save some money? Listen to this. How about an inside room for 10 nights? $349. Does that grab your attention? $349 a person for 10 nights on the Ruby Princess. Ocean view, $381. Balcony, $489. That's $48.90 a person for a balcony on this 10-day cruise. Hey, come on, man. You got extra money to spend on other stuff. Suite. How about a suite? $839. Forget the balcony. Take the suite. $83.90 a night a person for a suite. You get all kinds of benefits with a suite. The ship was built in 2008, last refurbished in 2015, didn't sail for a year and a half between then and now. So it's only been 3 years of refurbishment. 3,080 passengers, 1,200 crew. If you got a balcony unit, you got the fresh air, you got a suite, you definitely got fresh air and a lot of room. How about that deal? $349 to $839 for 10 nights. Now that's a cruise. That's a deal. That's a deal. Okay, here's another deal. This is a cruise for 16 nights. 16-night cruise, November 7th to November 23rd. So it's coming up. You got to get ready to go. On the Emerald Princess. The Emerald Princess. This one leaves November 7th from Southampton. Fly over to the other side, get over to London, spend a few days in London, and go to Southampton. And you're going to Cherbourg, France the next day. Then you have a sea day. Then you're in Le Verdon, France. Then you're in Bilbao, Spain. Then you're in La Coruna, Spain, a sea day. Ponta Delgada, Portugal for a day. And then you have 7 sea days to relax and do nada in the South Atlantic. And you're ending up in Fort Lauderdale. So it's going over to London and coming back to Fort Lauderdale, just north of Florida, not Miami. An inside room for a 16-day cruise, $639. Plus your food. You get your food. I mean, this is a deal. Ocean view, $677. Just about the same price. Balcony, $959 a person. The suite, $1,471. That's still less than $100 a day if you want to go for a suite. on the Emerald Princess, built in 2007, refurbished in 2015, 3,080 passengers, 1,200 crew. There you go. There's your second one right there. Now, cruise number 3. I thought I'd find you one that was kind of nice. This is an 18-day cruise, all right? An 18-day cruise on Regent 6-star cruise line. Now, if I recall, I believe Regent is owned by Norwegian. I think it is. I think Regent is a Norwegian upper end cruise line. So 18-night cruise on the Seven Seas Explorer, the name of the ship, leaving January the 26th, 2023 until February 13th. And you start the cruise in Sydney, Australia. So you know what you got to do. You got to go down to Sydney 2 weeks before your cruise starts. You just got to. And you're going to hang out in Sydney and Melbourne and enjoy Australia in summer, because January, the middle of January, is July in Australia. So enjoy some nice summer weather. Sydney, Australia. You leave Sydney on the 26th of January and you have a sea day. You end up in Brisbane, Australia for 2 nights. Then you have a sea day. And you end up in what are known as the White Sunday Islands. You end up there. Then you have 2 days there. Then you end up in Cairns, Australia for 2 nights. 2 nights in Cairns. Then you have a sea day. And then you're in Alotau Mine Bay, Papua New Guinea. That's an interesting looking port. And then Port Moresby for a day in Papua New Guinea. A sea day. A day in Darwin, Australia, a sea day, Komodo, Indonesia for a day, Lombok, Indonesia for a day, and you end up finishing off the cruise in Bali in Indonesia. And you know what you do then? You spend a week in Bali. So you do 2 weeks in Sydney for the time change and enjoy Australia a little bit. You do the cruise, and then you do a week in Bali to finish it off in a nice Pacific Ocean setting. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I didn't say this was a steal or a discount cruise. This is a 6-star cruise. Here's the deal. The price I'm going to quote you now includes all drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, all included. It includes the specialty restaurants on board the ship. It includes all gratuities on the ship. And it includes unlimited internet on the cruise, and select shore excursions are also included in the fare. So this is an all-inclusive kind of a deal. They do throw in $100 credit just, as a little hi, how are you? The cost for a suite or a balcony suite, either way, $15,799. Now, we're talking about an 18-night cruise, all inclusive, for $15,799. There really aren't any extra charges unless you're going for a massage in the spa, or you're going to get your hair done, or you're going for a manicure or a pedicure. There really isn't much else to spend on board the ship. The Seven Seas Explorer is a 6-star luxury cruise ship from Regent, just under $16,000 for 18 nights. But it's still almost $2,000 a night per couple. But what an itinerary that is. All right, let's talk about another cruise here. I found another deal for you, a 10-night deal on Royal Caribbean. This is a January 5th departure until January the 15th. This is on the Oasis of the Seas. Sharon loves these ships. 10 nights starting in Miami. And you're going in the first night, you're going to be in Labadee in Haiti at their resort. Then you have a sea day. Then you're going to St. Thomas for a day, St. Martin for a day, St. Kitts for a day, and San Juan, Puerto Rico for a day. Then you have a sea day. Then you end up in Coco Cay for the day, and then back to Miami. This is a 10-night Caribbean cruise on the Oasis of the Seas. And here are your prices. Inside room, $570. Ocean view, $750. Balcony, $863. That's $86.30 a night per person. $86 a night. Balcony on the Oasis of the Seas, 2 private resorts, and a whole bunch of other stops. Forget the suite, it's $3,700. It's not on sale. But those first 3 prices are pretty darn good. The inside, the ocean view, and the balcony, $863. January the 5th to 15th, 10 nights on the Oasis of the Seas. Not a bad gig. Okay, I got one more for you. Now, this is the big one. This is the big one. This is the one that is the dream cruise. This is the one where you gotta pull up the water. But I gotta say, when you compare this to the cruise I just told you about on the Regent going from Sydney to Bali, this one right here is not that bad priced. Here's the story. You're on Cunard. You're on the Queen Mary 2 for Cunard. Now, right there, right now, I can stop and I can tell you, you're on a 5.5-star cruise line. Right now, you're on the upper end of cruising. This is not a Carnival, party boat. Nothing like that. This is nice. January the 11th departure, 2023, and ending April 23rd, 2023, 102 nights. A 102-night cruise on the Queen Mary 2. All right. It starts in London, and there are so many stops, I had to just take a photo of the itinerary because I didn't want to write it down and then read it back to you because I just don't have that much ink in my pen. But let me tell you about this little ditty of a trip. Oh, my gosh. All right. We depart London on Wednesday, the 11th of January, 2023. You have 2 sea days to get to know the ship and your room steward and your staff and all the folks in the spa. Because if you know me, you know what I'd be doing. I'd be in the spa every day, finding the steam room and the jacuzzis and oh yeah. Saturday, the 14th of January, you're in Lisbon, Portugal for the day. Enjoy yourself in Lisbon. Then you've got, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sea days from Lisbon. You end up on Thursday, the 19th of January, in Crete, in Greece for the day. 2 days later, you're in the Suez Canal. Then you're in Luxor, Egypt, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. You will have arranged a ship to Giza where the pyramids are. That is the whole day. Get your camera going, get your binoculars. You are on a day to remember. After Luxor on Monday, the 23rd of January, you're going at sea for 4 days until you come to Salalah in Oman. Got a day there. Then you have 2 sea days, and you're going to end up in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. That's an actual 1-day deal. Then you're going to Dubai on February the 1st for 2 nights. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. You're going to go shopping. You're going to go up the tallest building in the world. You're going to maybe take a tour around some of the islands they've made. Who knows? There's lots to see in Dubai. 2 days. Then you have a sea day on the February the 3rd. You end up on Saturday, February the 4th in Muscat in Oman. And after Oman, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sea days, and you're now in Malaysia. You're in Malaysia. You're in, hang on a second, let me get this to pop up here. You're in Penang, Malaysia on Sunday, February the 11th. And you're in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, Sunday, February the 12th. And then on Monday, February the 13th, you are in Singapore for 2 days. You're in Singapore for Monday, February 13th, and Tuesday, February 14th. And you got lots to see in Singapore, lots to do there. 2 sea days later, you are in Bangkok, Thailand for 2 nights in Bangkok. Just don't pull off what the boys were trying to do in Hangover number 2. Don't be doing that. Bangkok will eat you alive. 2 days at sea after that, you're in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, Saigon. It was as what we refer to it as. That is Tuesday, February the 21st. You're in Saigon in Vietnam. You have a sea day. You're back to Singapore for one day. Then you have 2 sea days. You're in Bali for the day. A lovely day in Bali, February the 26th. Then you have 3 sea days, February the 27th, 8th, March 1st. You end up March 2nd in Darwin, Australia. 3 sea days later, you're in Airlie Beach, Australia. A sea day, you're in Brisbane, Australia. 2 more sea days, you've got Sydney for 2 days. Sydney, Australia, 2 days. A sea day on March 13th, Melbourne, Australia for the 14th. That's a Tuesday. A day at sea on Wednesday. Thursday, March 16th, you're on Kangaroo Island. And on Friday the 17th, you're in Adelaide in Australia. Saturday, Sunday, the 18th, you're at sea. And we are then headed to, let's take a look here. We're now in Busselton, Australia, Monday, March 20th, and Perth, Australia, Tuesday, March the 21st. So that's the end of Australia. Now we have some sea days. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sea days. This is your longest stretch at sea. 7 sea days. You're going to end up on Wednesday, March 29th at Port Louis in Mauritius. And on Thursday, March 30th, you're in Point de Galle in Reunion Island. 3 days at sea later, you're in Durban, South Africa. Then 1 day at sea, you're in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Another sea day, and you're in Cape Town for 2 days in South Africa. 1 sea day later, you're in Walvis Bay, Namibia. Now, from there, you are working your way back home, and I may have misspoken with how many sea days are the longest you're going to have. Let me double check. On Tuesday, April 11th, you start a sea journey of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days at sea. From April 11th to April 18th, you then end up on Wednesday, April the 19th, Tenerife in the Canary Islands. So you can kiss land there, do some sea time, beach walking time. Then you have 3 sea days, and you're back in London where it all started on Sunday, April the 23rd. So the Queen Elizabeth II, for 102 nights of pampering, spa days and day excursions and everything else. Oh my God, January the 11th to April the 23rd, London to London. Inside room for 102 nights, $17,615. That's about $170 a night per person. That is a very good value for a 5.5 star cruise line. Ocean view, you don't want it. $38,000. You don't want that one. But a balcony, $24,526. $245 a night per person with all your food, all the entertainment. This 102 night trip. Wow. Trip of a lifetime. $24,526. Suite, bring out the wallet, baby. Win a lottery. $56,948. That's a once in a lifetimer type trip right there. So from $17,600 to $24,000 for the balcony, or $56,000 for your suite. Forget the ocean view. 102 night trip on Cunard Queen Mary 2. I don't hear complaints from anybody that has ever taken a cruise on the Queen Mary 2. I have never heard. I know the ship is at least 3,200 passengers. It's big, it's wide, it's designed for ocean travel. It's an ocean liner. It's not a cruise ship. It's an ocean liner, and well able to handle this. But from London to Australia, back to London, and the way down is through the Suez Canal, and on the way back, it's around Africa. Now that is old school cruising. That used to be the only way you could do it. 102 nights, kids, something to consider. Those are some cruises for you guys to think about or dream about. for today. I thought I'd throw some of those your way. See what you thought of those. Pretty neat stuff. Pretty cool bean stuff. What we were saying here, excuse me. We're talking about restaurant food. I remember. Here we go. Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. And Jeannie said Bill had a student that would give him 8 fillets of fish at Captain D's. Yum. Sharon, I need to call her tonight. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you, Sharon. Diane Schroeder is in the house. Hi there, Bruce. I heard you're not coming to the desert. So I'm going to miss you this year. How's your Jennifer double wife doing? All the best to you both. Actually, we are coming to the desert. We actually are. We just haven't found a place to stay at yet, but we are coming to the desert. Early December, we'll be down there. We are looking forward to spending the winter down there this year. And I look forward to seeing you when I get a chance to pop by. Louise, there's only one cruise ship in Montreal. It's fantastic. I like cruise ships with 2,000 people or less. Let's watch a nice movie, the Titanic, laughing out loud. Louise, I will never board a cruise ship that is crazy crowded. I am a senior with a science background. Love you, Bruce. Thank you. Alan Fiddler, I like good bargain deals. Jeannie, we understand Louise Bill was a science teacher. Lee Shear is in the house, coming in late at number 50, number 89, not 89 degrees in Boca Raton. Happy Halloween. Thank you, Lee. All the best to you, as usual. Louise, oh, so cool, Jan. Louise, I'm in cold Canada with I'm close to dawn. Louise, Bruce is very smart. Jeannie, Bruce, I grew up in Detroit. Louise grew up in Detroit. Nikki, those transatlantic cruises are considerably less than the business class flights back to the U.S. That's true. Louise, no way I can travel all the way to Australia. I would travel from Detroit. It's only 2.5 hours from my city. Alberto, hello from Puerto Rico. Welcome, sir. Louise, I am not traveling this winter. Stephen Butler, is the lamp new? I like it. There's no lamp here. We have no lamps. Jeannie, Louise, we aren't either. Staying home with our cats. Louise, cool, Jeannie. I would love to go to Dubai to swim. Louise, one day, bucket list to swim in the best pools with the fishes, cruise or not. Jeannie, Louise, cool. Unfortunately, the older you get, the shorter the bucket list gets. Louise, I was thinking that maybe I get a dog. Jerry, my ex-friend, is gone. So sad. Louise Lanthier, Jeannie, I agree. Louise, Bruce is chatty tonight. He's always upbeat, though. Diane Schroeder, I look forward to seeing you. Look forward to seeing you. JJ, I had to walk the dog. What did I miss? Absolutely nothing. We talked about absolutely nothing tonight. We're just shooting the breeze about how cold it is this winter. How we'd like to be somewhere else. Can't wait to head south this winter. That's what I'd really like to be doing. We are looking forward to the desert in December and beyond. We have got 53 of you giving us a thumbs up tonight. Thank you so much for your help in getting us to the closer to that 100 mark. We're halfway there now. And the folks watching on the rerun, I thank all of you who are throwing thumbs ups at us every week, helping us hit that 100 thumbs ups goal every time. I thank you all so very much. It is interesting. I find that, if you're on a very crowded ship, you got to ask yourself, are you going to get COVID or aren't you? There's no masking. There's no testing. You don't need a vaccine. You could be a carrier and not even know it. I have no idea. But I see these deals and these unique cruises, and I go, wow, look at the itineraries that some of these ships have to offer. Absolutely wonderful and fantastic. You gotta wonder if you've got a balcony cabin and you're not putting yourself in too much of a crowded situation. Can you be all right? I mean, if it's only 1 in 10, the odds are 1 in 10, but still, you got to ask yourself, do you really want to deal with this thing or not? I'm hoping it just goes away, but I don't think it ever will. Mankind did not band together to get rid of it, unfortunately. We did a far better job on polio, and we did a far better job on chicken pox and the measles back in the 50s. Remember when? You remember going to school and getting shots at school? You remember that? We used to say, we're getting the needle. We're going to get the needle. And I remember they had that machine that gave us 5 at one shot or something like that. I can't remember how many injections we got in one go, but we had that arm up here, and they gave us and it left an indent. You remember that? You can still see people today with the indent on their arms. Many years ago, that was when parents said, "You darn right you're getting the shot, kid," because we had relatives in our family over the last 50 years die from this stuff. Not going to happen to you. And so those are different days. Too many conspiracy theories today. I think, unfortunately, things have changed. What can I say? JJ, when traveling, cruise ship or not, whenever you're in a crowd, please wear a mask and take care of yourselves. You got to be careful out there, kids. Well, folks, that is the show for the week. My big show. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure appreciate you guys visiting us from around the world. It's truly really cool. Folks from Europe are here. Folks from all over the U.S., folks from the Caribbean are here, Australia. It's just great having you around. It's true. Everything's so political now. You know it, Diane. You're right there. Jeannie, catch y'all next week. Bye for now. Jeannie, you take care. And Diane, you take care. JJ, Louise, Jeannie, all the best to you. Stephen, thanks for being here. Alberto, Nikki, who else was here? Lee Shear was always here. Alan, thank you for popping in. Sharon, of course. We got who else here? Nautical Nurse Nancy. It was so nice to have you by. Nathan, as always, my friend. Cloud 7 Travel. Kirk Brunson. Ms. M. Michelle Lucas. Guys, all the best to you. Larry Blake. Who else? Stephen. I think I got everybody. Robert Blend. Kevin Chapman. Donnell, of course, from Ireland. Robert from Boston area. Thank you all so much for popping in to say hi to us. Kate, thank you. Sean and Wendy, God is amazing. Thank you. Alan Fiedler, thank you. Louise, obviously, as usual. Who else was here? I think I got everyone. Valerie was here. And I'm looking at Sandy Hill. Ken Kareka, thanks. And Janet, same thing to you as always. Janice Gregory, thank you guys so much for your continued support of the channel and always popping by to see us. Thank you for these thumbs ups. Catch you all next week. Jeannie, you got it. Ruth Ann, thank you. Nikki, goodbye. I'll have a great week. And Diane, hugs to you and Jen. See you soon. You got it, Diane. Can't wait to get down there. We've got cold weather moving in. We don't like it. We got to get out of here. Cloud 7, have a great rest of the night. Don't let the trick-or-treating kids keep you up too late. We got a big day tomorrow with SoFi. I agree. Join me tomorrow on my other channel, Stock Markets with Bruce, 8:30 Eastern time. I'll be live, and we'll follow the markets tomorrow. Rocky number 11. Thanks, Rocky. Have a great one, buddy, for your support and popping in again. We'll see you all next week, everybody. Take good care of yourself. Stay healthy and be well. Good night from Calgary. Take care.